As we continue to study her case, we gain a deeper understanding of the critical role fear plays in human behavior, survival, and decision-making. Hello and welcome to the Mystery Channel, where in each video we discuss strange and profound topics, revealing secrets that science is still unable to fully explain. Welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating medical mysteries in neuroscience, the case of the woman who never feels fear. Is it even possible for someone to live their life without fear? How does this rare condition affect their day-to-day life? And how does the brain work in these instances? We will uncover the story behind SM, a woman whose lack of fear has made her famous in the field of neuroscience, and explore the science behind this unique phenomenon. SM is the name given to a remarkable case of a woman who does not experience fear, despite being exposed to potentially dangerous situations. SM is actually the abbreviation for the patient's identity. Sherry, the name has been changed for privacy in most contexts. Sherry suffers from a rare and fascinating condition called Urbach-Wiethe disease, which leads to the destruction of her amygdala. The amygdala is the part of the brain that is most involved in processing emotions like fear. This condition makes Sherry unable to feel fear, even when faced with threats that would provoke fear in the majority of people. In Sherry's life, situations that might typically trigger fear do not affect her in the usual way. Urbach-Wiethe disease is a rare genetic disorder that progressively damages the amygdala. The amygdala plays a central role in processing and regulating emotional responses to fear and threat. In Sherry's case, this neurological disorder caused severe damage to her amygdala, leaving her without the ability to experience fear. In her life, Sherry has never reacted to frightening situations the way other people do. When exposed to situations that would typically trigger a fear response, like watching horror films or encountering potentially dangerous animals, Sherry doesn't experience the typical signs of fear, such as increased heart rate, sweating, or panic. The amygdala is an almond-shaped cluster of nuclei located deep within the temporal lobes of the brain. It is critical in processing emotions, particularly fear. When the brain perceives a threat or danger, the amygdala triggers a series of physiological responses designed to prepare the body to either fight or flee. However, in Sherry's case, the absence of a fully functioning amygdala means she does not undergo these typical physiological changes when faced with danger. While most people experience intense fear in situations like car accidents or near-miss encounters with dangerous animals, Sherry shows no such fear, even in the most extreme situations. What makes Sherry's case particularly interesting is how she reacts to events that are universally considered frightening. In one famous study, Sherry was shown terrifying videos involving threatening animals or violent scenes from horror movies. Whereas most people would experience heightened anxiety or fear during such stimuli, Sherry did not show any emotional or physical response. Furthermore, when exposed to real-world situations that could potentially be dangerous, such as being in the vicinity of aggressive dogs, or even in high-risk situations, Sherry did not react with fear. For instance, during a study in which Sherry was placed in close proximity to a large, threatening dog, she showed no fear or anxiety, whereas most individuals would have reacted with caution or fear. While Sherry is the most famous case, she is certainly not the only one. There are a small number of individuals with similar neurological conditions that affect their amygdala and lead to an absence of fear. However, these cases are extremely rare. What makes Sherry's case unique is that her condition has been studied extensively, giving researchers valuable insight into how the brain processes fear and the role the amygdala plays in emotional responses. These studies provide a rare glimpse into what happens when the brain is incapable of processing one of the most fundamental human emotions. Sherry's case continues to be a cornerstone for researchers exploring the complexities of fear and its profound impact on human behavior. Over the years, numerous studies have been conducted to better understand Sherry's condition and the effects of amygdala damage on fear responses. In some of these studies, Sherry was exposed to fear-inducing scenarios, such as watching scary videos, hearing frightening noises, or being placed in threatening environments. Most individuals would show signs of distress, such as an increased heart rate, sweating, or a sense of unease. However, Sherry showed no physiological changes or emotional responses. Even when faced with situations that would trigger intense fear in most people, such as walking through a dark alley or encountering a dangerous animal, she maintained calm and did not experience the traditional fear response. While it may seem advantageous to be free from fear, Sherry's condition has some notable psychological and social implications. Fear is not just a negative emotion. It serves a critical function in human survival. It helps us assess risks and make quick decisions in dangerous situations. Without fear, Sherry lacks the ability to recognize potential threats, which may lead her to take risks that others would avoid. Furthermore, Sherry's inability to experience fear can make it difficult for her to empathize with others who feel fear. This can lead to social difficulties, as people who are fearful may struggle to understand why Sherry doesn't react to frightening situations in the way they would expect. This gap in understanding could affect her relationships, both personally and professionally. In addition to the obvious emotional consequences of Sherry's condition, the absence of fear also affects her cognitive abilities. The amygdala is not only responsible for processing fear, but also plays a role in memory, decision-making, and the regulation of emotions. Research has shown that people with damaged amygdalas, like Sherry, may also have difficulty in forming certain types of memories, particularly those associated with emotional experiences. For example, Sherry may find it harder to learn from potentially dangerous situations because she doesn't experience the emotional tagging that most people do when they recall fearful events. This could lead to challenges in her ability to learn from mistakes or use emotional cues to guide her behavior. One of the central questions raised by Sherry's case is whether it is possible for a person to live without fear. While some might consider living without fear to be a gift, the reality is that fear plays a crucial role in our survival. Fear helps us avoid danger and make important life decisions. Without it, individuals might struggle to understand the gravity of potential risks. Though Sherry is able to lead a relatively normal life, her condition leaves her vulnerable to situations where fear might have otherwise served as a protective mechanism. Researchers argue that a certain level of fear is essential for human beings to function optimally. For instance, without fear, people might not react appropriately to threats, leading them to make poor decisions or engage in behaviors that expose them to unnecessary risks. Therefore, while living without fear may seem like an advantage at first, it comes with significant challenges and dangers. Recent studies suggest that while it is possible for a person to learn to reduce their fear response through methods like exposure therapy, the complete absence of fear, like in Sherry's case, is very rare. Psychological treatments like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, can help people reduce fear in specific contexts, such as overcoming phobias, but these individuals are still capable of experiencing fear in other areas of life. The case of Sherry, however, provides researchers with a unique opportunity to study the effects of a complete lack of fear and the consequences it may have on emotional regulation, decision-making, and risk assessment. Through Sherry's condition, researchers gain insight into the intricate ways fear influences our cognitive and emotional landscapes, making her case an invaluable asset to scientific exploration. Beyond the medical and psychological implications, Sherry's condition has also sparked significant interest in popular culture. The idea of a person who never feels fear has been romanticized in literature and film, often depicted as a heroic or almost superhuman trait. These fictional characters who remain unfazed by danger are often seen as symbols of courage and invincibility. However, in reality, Sherry's condition is not a superpower. It is a rare medical anomaly that highlights the crucial role fear plays in human survival. In many ways, the concept of living without fear aligns with cultural ideals of bravery and invulnerability. However, it also underscores the potential dangers of failing to acknowledge and address one's fears. In stories, we may admire characters who face danger without hesitation, but in real life, such a lack of fear could be perilous. Sherry's case presents a fascinating insight into how the brain processes emotions and how one specific part of the brain, the amygdala, plays a pivotal role in fear. While it may seem like a superpower to live without fear, the absence of this emotion can have profound effects on an individual's cognitive, emotional, and social well-being. Sherry's condition offers us a rare opportunity to understand the complex interactions between brain function and emotional experience. As we continue to study her case, we gain a deeper understanding of the critical role fear plays in human behavior, survival, and decision-making. So if you enjoyed this video and are interested in mysterious phenomena and mysterious historical incidents, don't forget to like, share, subscribe for more incredible and unbelievable stories. And leave us a comment with your opinion on this topic. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.